All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about one of the biggest and, let's be honest, often invisible challenges in AI security today, managing the attack surface. You see, every time a new model gets deployed, or an API gets exposed, or a new data pipeline is spun up, your potential battlefield, it just gets bigger and bigger. And as we're about to see, what you don't know absolutely can hurt you. Oh, and just a quick heads up before we really get going, this is part 9 in our 10-part series. We're giving you a high-level overview here, pulling out the key ideas from a really comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. If you want the full deep dive, that's the place to go. So let me just ask you this straight up. Do you really know where all the AI is running inside your organization? It sounds like such a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's usually a lot more complicated and, frankly, a little bit scary. And hey, if you paused for even a second there, you are definitely not alone. A whopping 88% of IT leaders are worried about this very thing, which has a name: shadow AI. This is all the unapproved, totally ungoverned AI that people are using. We're talking about that chatbot, someone connected to a sensitive database, or the generative AI tool that's analyzing confidential company data. All of it happening completely under the radar. And that brings us to a really key point. You see, managing an AI attack surface is nothing like securing a normal, static application. AI systems, they're kind of alive. They're constantly learning, evolving, retraining, scaling up and down, and that means their attack surface is a moving target that is incredibly difficult to keep track of. So what does this new battlefield actually look like? Well, it's a pretty complex landscape. You've got the cloud infrastructure that's powering the whole thing, the API endpoints that expose the models to the world, the data pipelines that are constantly feeding them, and then you've got everything out on the edge: IoT devices, third-party tools, and of course, those risky shadow AI deployments. So let's break these down one by one. First up, cloud infrastructure. This is the bedrock for almost all modern AI. But here's the catch. Every single misconfigured virtual machine, every container, every storage bucket, it's like leaving a door unlocked and wide open for an attacker. And with how complex multi-cloud setups can get, those potential entry points just multiply like crazy. Next, you've got API endpoints. Seriously, think of these as the new and often completely unguarded front doors to your most valuable AI models. They're what make AI useful, for sure, but if you don't lock them down with strong authentication and constant monitoring, they become the #1 target for anyone trying to steal your data or mess with your models. And the risk doesn't stop at the model itself. We have to think about the entire supply chain. From the data pipelines that are slurping up information to the IoT sensors making decisions in real time, every single link in that chain is a place where things can go wrong. If someone poisons the data way back at the source, well, the decisions your AI makes down the line will be corrupted. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and it's a big one. It's chaotic, it's dynamic, it's spread out all over the place. So how in the world do you go from that chaos to some semblance of control? Well, you need a plan. You need a structured, strategic framework for defense. And it all boils down to a 3-pillar strategy. It's simple, really. First, you identify and prioritize all your stuff. Then, you remediate the problems you find and harden your defenses. And finally, you put strong governance in place to prevent new risks from popping up. It's not a one-and-done thing, it's a continuous cycle that helps you get ahead of the game. So let's start with Pillar 1, identify and prioritize. This is the absolute foundation for everything else, and it's built on one simple, undeniable truth. You cannot protect what you can't see. Visibility is everything, period. The key piece of technology here is something called Attack Surface Management, or ASM tools. These are awesome. They're automated platforms that are just constantly scanning your entire digital footprint, across all your cloud accounts, all your networks, to find and catalog every single AI-related thing you have. They're designed to find the stuff you didn't even know existed. But just finding stuff isn't quite enough. To do this right, you need a few things working together: continuous discovery, because things are always changing; a centralized inventory, so you have one place to see everything; and maybe most importantly, risk-based prioritization. This means the tools automatically figure out which assets are the most exposed or the most critical, so your team can focus its energy on what actually matters most. So once you can see everything, you can move on to Pillar 2, remediate and harden. This is where you actually take action. It's all about systematically going through and closing all those security gaps you just found. You know, one of the simplest but so often overlooked ways to do this is to just clean house. I mean, think about it. An active system might provide business value, sure, but it needs constant patching and monitoring. It's an ongoing risk. But a system you decommission, it provides zero business value, but it also presents zero risk. Every old project or forgotten test server you turn off is a win. It's one less thing to worry about. Beyond just cleaning up, core remediation is really all about relentless security hygiene. That means having a system for patching your AI infrastructure, hardening all your configurations based on industry standards like the CIS benchmarks, and this is crucial, making decommissioning a regular, scheduled part of your routine, not just a one-time project. And that brings us to our final pillar, prevent and govern. This is where we make the big shift. We stop playing defense and fixing problems after they appear, and we start playing offense. The goal here is to build AI systems that are secure right from the start, by default. So how do we do that? By weaving security directly into the development process. This means having clear rules and governance for any new AI project. It means automating security scans right inside the development pipeline, so a new vulnerability is never a last-minute surprise. And it means getting teams to work together through things like threat modeling, where developers and security pros team up from day one. There's a line from the report that just sums this all up perfectly. The goal is to create secure by default AI systems. The whole point is that security isn't some final checklist item you do at the end. It's an inherent part of the system, baked in from the very beginning, not just bolted on as an afterthought. And what this all comes down to, really, is a cultural shift. AI security can't just be the security team's problem anymore. It has to be a shared responsibility. The data scientists sourcing the data, the developers building the models, the operations teams deploying them, everybody has a role to play in keeping that attack surface under control. So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your organization's AI attack surface is, without a doubt, growing every single day. The only real question is your security strategy growing and adapting right along with it? Join us next time for the final part of our series. Thanks for tuning in.